Okay.
They want you to do it too.
Quiet. Okay, but just go make some art in the meantime. And you guys gotta be.
Come, they'll do it in like 5 minutes.
Okay, so first say your name, tell us your name and what you do here, or your role here.
My name is, and I'm just helping out, volunteering for Nerio's focus group. Is it your focus group?
No, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, I don't. That's just for the focus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just make sure for tomorrow what to say.
We can do this now. It's super casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For the focus. Okay. So my name is, and I help volunteer in the focus group. And the amazing thing is that I've realized and learned is that, well, I always noticed this, but just seeing it firsthand, like, everyone has potential. These kids have potential. And sometimes, there's too much junk in the air that they'll be distracted by, things that won't allow them to channel that in them, their potential, what they could create and be focused about anything. If it's art or just, keeping it real or being with your homies or whatever, they always, there's too many distractions in the world. And you could tell, like, the state of hip-hop also, because obviously the elements we're using in hip-hop is this focus group with graffiti, b-boying, poetry. And they already live that. It's just that the way that their hip-hop is expressed is, is glorifying, I don't know, the ghetto or whatever. But obviously we're trying to use the more positive of hip-hop because hip-hop will always be frowned upon if it's not studied correctly. And, so we're just doing what we do and trying to make a better,
Very good. Okay, so what was it like coming in here for the first time?
Nervous. I was definitely nervous because I didn't.
So when you answer, say for the first, like when I came here, like.
Oh, okay. When I came here for the first time, I was nervous because I read a lot of books and I study a lot of things about the state of things are, and I didn't know what to expect. Like, it's different from reading and experiencing. So obviously I was nervous. I never done anything like this, and I'm still learning. And the thing is, I definitely like the support here though from other people is more than I can ask for, because the fact is people need help, and I want to be part of that movement, like any kind of help, that can make a change in anyone's life or community or whatever. And obviously for the first time doing that, actually physically doing it, then reading it, it was nerve-wracking, but everyone was awesome. Everyone helped me, so I can't, thank you guys enough.
Cool. How do you think that art benefits youth or benefits the community?
Art allows you to be a critical thinker, for sure. And the thing is, we are just fed information without asking questions and without, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't ask questions. We always just take it for what it is, and that's what happens, And art at least allows you to explore that part of your mind, part of that reality that's not always there, because that's why it's important. That's why I love hip hop. It always allows you to expand and experiment other universes or worlds inside your mind, or what you're capable of, because everything is like 9 to 5. Everything is, do what you do, and then go home, get a home, family, and then your kids will do the same thing. But art needs to be there, because there's more to the 9 to 5 than getting groceries and paying your debts and everything. And you need that art, because life is boring without it. Let's face it, we grew up on it, and so you need art. You just need it.
Do you think the kids in this neighborhood have benefited from this art program?
Yes. The kids has definitely benefited from this art program. To say that they didn't is completely bullshit. Sorry.
We'll let it.
Yeah. To say that they didn't.
Language.
Sorry.
No, it's
To
all
say
good.
that they didn't is complete nonsense. Honestly, like these kids, like you can tell, like they come in here, they're all nervous, like yeah, sure, I wanna partake in this, whatever, you know. But then after a while, they get used to it, and now they're just like like my homies, just say what's up, how was school, whatever, show some love, and they tell me how their day was as they're doing their art, and and I know they don't like. They're not necessarily looking for advice or whatever, but I'll throw in some wisdom, and if they pick it up, they don't, whatever. As long as there's people like us out there, who are like this kind of role model, who are not out there like being, as long as they know that there's people like us, that's all I care about, because I know some of these kids think we're weird. This one kid said to me, I think, like, I'm not gonna say his name, but he said, "You guys are weird. You guys are weird. Like, who are you?" Because he never see people like us. It's like, you guys are weird. It's like we're weird because, like the way we express like the hip hop form or the way we are, like we're not what the that whole beat up gangster mentality that they're so used to, because that's what they're exposed to. So that's why when they meet us, it's like, whoa, who are these guys? They love hip hop, but it's not, it's not violent. It's not, it's more like, yeah, for the love and spirituality of it. They see that they can't explain how we are, but I see that they're questioning how we are, and as long as we are that positive force, and they recognize it, like, okay, there's something different about these guys, then for sure, I'm glad I'm part of that. So
Heavy. It's good. A lot of good things. Anything else you want to touch on? To say or mention about some of the kids or what
the amazing thing is, like, this is like a very, it's not very small, it's a fair size, but just knowing, like, this is just and seeing how the status of hip hop, and it shows like the power structure is like it's always gonna be there, because I noticed, like, see, the thing is with hip hop, it's just that it's always fresh, it's always young. That's why the youth loves it so much. And when there's so much I want to say, but the thing is, though, it's like at the end of the day, if you're doing something positive, and if it's hip hop related or not, that's good. But but you see, I'm just gonna point out, you see the power structure as of the ignorance that people have and stuff, because the more misinformed people are, and the more controlled you will be. And that's what I've realized, is that I'm learning, because like you want to you want to be like, you want to do everything that's right for these kids, and for hip hop or whatever. But with media and the drugs out there, they're so distracted that you're trying your best, but sometimes you feel like you could, you only get strong guidance. You can't be perfect role models, but guidance to what they can truly become. And I want them to recognize that, to not doubt their creativity. I want them to recognize that the potential they have as people ever on this planet, not just for but on this planet we're on, the potential you guys have, and not to think that it's whack, or that you're weak or whatever, and quit being a follower. You need to be a leader and be a critical thinker. Like, so.
Okay, that's good. I'll just ask a few more questions. What do you think some of the biggest challenges are in trying to reach youth, or
the biggest challenge is,
what have your challenges been?
I would have to say the information that I want, like, to say, or not even information, but because sometimes, like I said, like with ignorance, like they'll just tell me like shut up, or be quiet. They'll just yell at me, and I'm like, oh yo, what do you do? You know what I mean? Because obviously in my perspective, like, yo, I'm here to be, I'm here to reach out for you guys, type thing. But they're not gonna see that. They just think some like dude, like, okay, whatever, you're just here. But yeah, the biggest challenge is definitely like trying to understand their perspective, because the more I get to know their environment and know how they act around their peers, the more I understand them more. And that's the best way I can reach out to them. But definitely the challenge is like giving them certain information about certain things is like what hip hop truly represents, why it's, like how it started from, it didn't start from like the nicest neighborhood. Like I want to teach them, like I want to tell them those things, but at the same time it's kind of like it'll just go over their heads. So it's definitely, I think the major challenge is the time it takes to process that kind of real information. I mean, I just want people to, I just want the art to be recognized too at the same day. Some people think it's like, hip hop is like culture, it's deeper than that, like, of course you got the elements and it's deeper than that. There's no other art form that mixes culture like this, like for sure, like I don't, like seriously, so, but, what was the question again? Sorry, I always tend to, what's the challenge?
Yeah, the challenge is here.
It's just that the challenge is here is just that,
Or are there any?
well, the challenge is really is like, it's not really like challenge, I would say, but the learning process is a lot. So, but it's just continuous learning, and I don't think I'll ever stop. So
cool. That's good. Oh yeah, last one. What does focus mean to you?
Focus means to me is fighting out confusion using skills or spirituality. So
Put it up.
Focus.
Peace.
Peace.
It's good. Really good.
Man, I could have done better, man.
No. It's perfect. You're being real in the moment and saying what's on your mind.
No, I know, but I could have like delivered a better thing though if I took the time and wrote it down. But
I'll take whatever's whatever works then. But there's a lot of good stuff that you said there.
I could have said a lot. I could have gone off, man, but
I know you could.
like
you said,
I just want to. I want to make sure I kept it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about. I was gonna talk about like power structure. But I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, because that's gonna lead into.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I just want to. That's why I felt like I need to.
You don't want to be like too confusing. And I thought what you said was just perfect.
Yeah. I thought I could said better though, but sorry.
There is no better.
So. See how that looks. Do I have any room in my memory stick? Woo! There's like 4 gigs left.
Oh yeah, we gotta stop recording this.
That was just a quick interview I did for a really short mini documentary of this hip hop group, outreach program for the youth called the Focus Group. It's an acronym for fighting out confusion using skills or fighting out confusion using spirituality. But at the end of the day, it's rooted to hip hop. I just want people to know, though, I was nervous when I was doing that interview. Straight up, like, before that happened, I was just caught off guard. I was just, washing paintbrushes, putting away spray cans, putting away the chess sets, all the kids were playing. But yeah, I did stutter a bit, and clearly, and I also trailed off. I'm not answering the question because I personally thought that we were just... I thought it was just a regular day at the focus group. I didn't think my homie's gonna he was gonna ask me straight up, like, okay, we're gonna do the documentary part now. Like, we'll just ask you. But yeah, so I was just not ready, and I still beat myself up to this day that I could have answered that better if I knew that I was be prepared for it. But I guess it was more organic that way. It just flowed naturally. It didn't flow, but just me speaking on there, you could tell that my mind wanted to say a trillion of things at once, but I couldn't process everything that I really wanted to say. But that's what happens when you're bombarded with so much knowledge, and you don't know how to address it properly when the time is given. So I need more discipline and practice on speaking knowledge on like that, on on certain levels like that. Especially if if you're going into debates, it's important to practice those things. And also want to point out when I speak about glorifying the ghetto from the youth, it's just that not that it's a bad thing that the youth does that. I think it's important that they have to glorify it because it's truly a reflection of the world we live in. And it makes people think like, well, it won't, some people just like, oh, that's how these kids are and they stereotype them. But obviously my goal was to educate why there is a ghetto, why there are rich neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods. I want to educate them on that, and it wasn't done by accident, but that's, at least it's still hip hop what they're doing. But I find the problem with the youth glorifying the ghetto and always shouting where you're from, it's limited to what they can truly be on this planet. And the youth that I dealt with, yeah, they always, I mean, I like that they listen to real shit once in a while, but the hip hop heads in this city where I'm from is a little bit on the gangster side of things. And they are, when I say gangster, like they glorify, like their songs, they talk about selling drugs and hustling all the time. And that's fine because they're speaking their truth, which I understand, but I just kind of want them to understand there are other truths within themselves instead of that. But obviously they were taught in that level of things of what they grew up to in their environment. So I just felt like they need to see other things of themselves than being ghetto and selling drugs and being in a gang and fighting other people, which I think I was able to accomplish with some kids. There was a lot of them. There was only 5 of us, and 2 well, technically the one that was always there was only 3 of us, and we always had, oh man, we had a lot of kids, and it was hard to focus on each and every one of them. But when the flow was right and hip hop was working at its finest, it was beautiful. And also, I wasn't saying that hip hop culture isn't deep as it is. I was just referring to the service level of the physicalness of the culture, of the way we speak in language, the way we wear clothes, the way our body language is, and the way we say peace to each other. And people think culture's like yo 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 and all that, and like it's in rapping, like people think this is, oh, that's your culture. It's like, no, it's deeper than that. Like I love how as a hip hop head I get to say peace to another person who's hip hop. I still say it even though they're not hip hop or not, but I love the fact that I can say that. And I don't have to wait till Sunday at church after singing how many songs just to say peace and shake hands and feel good about it because you said peace. When you practice it on a daily, it's truly wonderful. It's truly it's a gift from God. And obviously it is really deep when the culture is extremely deep. Like I can't stress that enough. Like there's that level of things, and then there's the there's that level of things of hip hop, and there's the esoteric level of things when we deal with energy of freestyling. We talk about chakras and or kundalini and the drums, and we could go even deeper because when we talk about kundalini drum, we're talking about African rhythm, right? Because the originators of hip hop is black people in the States. They are the creators of hip hop. That's why I want to give a shout out and love to Africa Bambaataa. Quite frankly, you created jobs for everyone. You created something everywhere in the world. There's some kind of this hip hop culture is such an outlet in so many levels in business. And if you just want to show off, be a cocky, arrogant bastard, you can do that. You could keep it real, spoken word poetry, dance, art, like films. And focus groups like this in my small city, and this is just my small ass city. This is just a small city I live at, And I just sit back and I think, like, wow, what about other places in the world doing the exact same thing using this culture and helping people with it? Well, and there are people using this culture and benefiting from it, and not giving its proper respect to the originators who started this also. Yeah, so, and when you go deeper and you study the work of the Zulu nation, and you'll notice that Africa Mambata always has an ankh, and he usually has like a sweater with like planets and lined up, and you'll start studying. If you study his line of work, you learn about the stars and planets and aliens, certain sort of aliens out of this world. And I understand for people that they don't want to tap into that. That's fine. It's not for you, But at the end of the day, that's how deep this thing goes. It goes really extremely deep, and I love this culture, and I can't stop learning. And what's crazy about it, I'm not. There's so much to learn, and I'm still learning. Like, I mean, I finished KRS-One's Temple of Gospel of Hip Hop. Right now, I'm just checking out a bunch of lectures from all over YouTube, whichever hip hop heads you could think of, like all the way from, like Revolutions people, like from Black Dot, because even seeing interviews like from Grandmaster Caz, and I have a whole library that I need to still check out, but I have a life. I have to still do my thing here with my life, and eventually I'll give time into that. But I just want to say peace. Thanks for checking out my interview, and spread the word of love. On to the next.